And so here we are, module 3, living an endlessly delicious life. Today we're actually going to talk about gratitude, and we are going to talk yet again about letting go. I can't emphasize letting go enough, so bear with me. It is not repetitive. It will be new stuff. But gratitude, what is gratitude? Well, it is a process of showing appreciation. So, however, when gratitude is misplaced, and we're going to talk a little bit about this, the gesture isn't really worthy. Gratitude can become like an employee simply showing up for work and the boss saying, I'm so grateful for that. Well, it's really not gratitude, right? But people will use gratitude in that way. Gratitude becomes a tool for avoiding other healthy emotions. So you use it as a band aid, if you will. It can become dangerous when it interferes with your ability to experience and express a wide range of emotions. Emotions are so important. We are an an emotional being. We're energy in motion, emotion. And allowing yourself to experience and feel what you're truly going through is really, really important. Now, that doesn't mean that you wallow in it and that pick at it and that you go looking for a problem. It means that when you are experiencing it, you embrace it. Whether even if fear, sadness, anger, you're feeling it, embrace that you're feeling it, but love that you're feeling it and get curious about why you're feeling it. Don't try to push it away. But oftentimes, gratitude is used as a tool for pushing it away and burying it. Gratitude is misplaced for true skills or ability, right? You have a natural inborn skill and you say, I'm grateful for this. Well, it can interfere with your ability to recognize and celebrate your gifts because you're giving up your power with the gratitude. So be very, very careful. And although gratitude can be misplaced, still, gratitude can work magic if you use it appropriately. So we're going to go through positive effect of results of gratitude and negative results of gratitude so that you can see that just like the law of polarity, it's no different with gratitude. You've got to be aware. I went backwards. Sorry, guys. So positive attitude, right? Positive gratitude, it can open doors to more relationships, more connections, more tribe, but it is not a numbers game. A lot of people, let's not say a lot of people, let's not put judgment there, Gail, sorry. But sometimes people will show gratitude in order to stack the deck, if you will, right? I know I did that at one point. Well, I'm in the dumps and I know that if I do my affirmations and my gratitudes, I can get myself out. So I'm going to be grateful this and grateful for that, grateful for this and grateful for that. Didn't work, guys. Didn't work. I got out of it, but that was with honesty and integrity. Positive results, gratitude improves your physical health. It absolutely does. But if you get stuck with it, or you can get stuck when you're grateful for someone or something that's not worthy. And we'll talk at the end if you have questions about that. So if you have questions about that one or any of these, write them down and we'll do the Q&A like we always do when I stop the recording after this. Gratitude has a positive result when it improves your psychological health. Absolutely. But it doesn't resolve the problems. And it can be used to make you feel better, but avoid the actual root of the root of the root of the problem. So the trick is to feel better, but then still solve the problem. Gratitude enhances empathy and reduces aggression. However, gratitude not shown to yourself, downplaying your own successes, has a very negative impact on you. So recognize when you do something that is worthy of your gratitude from yourself, for yourself. Very, very important. Grati- Gratitude absolutely improves self-esteem. It, again, like I said earlier, it increases your mental strength, but it can lead you down the wrong path, mistaking gratitude for indebtedness. And this is the one that I have a big issue with, because many people say, I'm so grateful that you showed up. I'm so grateful that you did this for me. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. That is so disempowering. That is not gratitude. That is servitude. And we certainly don't want to be putting ourselves in that position. So be very aware of when you say, I'm grateful for, what follows that, and the feeling that you have with it. Be sure that you stay in your power. You do not step out of your own power ever, ever, ever. When something goes wrong, you have an immediate response. We're going to be talking about letting go again. When you become aware of that response, you can choose to consciously apply the brakes. There are advantages and benefits to not letting go. So we talked about the negative of gratitude. We're going to talk about the advantages of not letting go. And this is why people get into the trap of hanging on to things. And so see if any of these things really resonate with you. So we'll go through the advantages and benefits of not letting go. My favorite one, you get to stay feeling right. You're always right. Okay? If you don't let go, then you're right 100% of the time. And how many of us are really, really right 100% of the time? I haven't been yet. And you can assume the victim role and you get attention and support and comfort from other people. If you hang on to a negative feeling or a negative emotion, if you hang on. Oh, I'm so sorry that you feel that way. Oh, it's just so awful. People really do appreciate it when you don't feed into their victim role, except for those who are hanging on. You don't have to go out into a scary unknown if you cling to what you know instead. This is a big one for all of us right now. We have been thrown into this scary unknown as to what's next out of our control, and we're trying to cling on and hold on to what we know. And the truth of the matter is, when all of this is over, what we used to know to be true will no longer be so. We are entering a brand new phase, and Mother Nature has pushed us to pay attention to her. Pay attention. Listen, she's speaking volumes right now. So, as I said earlier, 20% of what happens in your life is in your control. Focus 100% on what you can influence in your life. What can you influence? So get out paper and pen and think for a moment. What can I focus my time and energy on instead of actually making positive progress or to actually make positive progress or change in my life. So this is lovely. Apple or a cupcake. I would have both. You guys know that. My choice would be half and half, but you can make different choices. So think of something in your life right now that you might be able to make a more positive choice with that could have a change, might have a different impact. Or maybe you don't know what the impact would be, but you know that you could be a little bit more uplifting. Maybe you could be a little bit more forward thinking. Maybe you could be a little less hanging on. Maybe you could release some of the fear and be a little bit more brave. Maybe you could be a little bit more caring. Maybe you could be a little bit more of holding space and letting others speak. Maybe you could be a little bit more silent and introspective. What's the one, just one thing? And as you have written that down, which I'm pretty sure you have by now, think of how you would integrate that into your life easily. If it's too hard, you reach too far, and I applaud you for thinking about it, but we don't want to stretch too far. It's one small step I can take today to get started with that thing that you talked about. One small baby step. You could turn your back on your issues and focus on what is available to you for a conscious choice. Turning your back on whatever the issue is. Have any of you, I'll give you a great example of physically turning your back. So I was in a relationship and had my friend over, and he was from out of state, so was staying with me. And it was volatile. It was definitely not a good time. And thought, oh, if he lived down the street, I would kick his butt out the door and tell him to go home. What am I going to do? I got up, grabbed my coat, and I left my own house. And as I walked up and down the street, the purpose was to figure out what I was going to say and how I was going to handle this situation. And I came back in and, you know, made some resolutions and was very happy the next day to drop him off at the airport. But I had to turn my back on a friendship and a relationship and walk out of my own home to figure out what my choices were calmly, without emotion, right? Without being angry, sad, guilty, whatever. I had to get past the emotion first to make clear, conscious choices. Life is not always that neat, as you know. It's not ever neat and tidy. The issue of distraction that you run into and that you think you've resolved might pop up again. Some of you who've coached with me have heard wash and repeat and then let it go again. So what happens when issues pop up again? You get better and better and better at managing them, at handling them, and eventually you get to the point where you actually see the bus coming before you step in front of it. And the next thing you know, you see the street that the bus runs down normally and you go and take another street. but it's practice in honing that skill of especially the repeating patterns in our life. Keep working at it. Don't get discouraged. Keep working at it. Keep working at it. Because believe me, you'll get better and better and better and better of letting it go. The act of being happy lies in the power of extracting happiness from common things. Think about that sentence. The act of being happy lies in the power of extracting happiness from common things. So I was talking a little bit earlier. I'm happy when the dog lays beside me. And in fact, I was telling my daughter when I sit on the couch and the dog doesn't sit beside me, I feel naked. There's something missing. And I want her to come up and snuggle. It just makes me happy that she's there. Small thing, no big deal. I get happy. I'm thrilled that I have pH alkaline water to drink. Very happy about that. Small thing, big impact. Lots of joy and happiness about it. So, what are the small things that you take for granted? Take another look. So, when something goes wrong, you automatically react. In the space between the breaths, become aware that you have choices. So, when you feel in your body this reaction happening, take a breath. And in fact, put your shoulders back and breathe. Breathing is like the best thing ever. At that point, you can make a conscious choice to boost your happiness. Don't push down the issue, but boost your happiness, right? For most men and women, this is an achievement rather than a gift of God's. And in this achievement, effort, both inward and outward. So if you feel that it's an effort to be happy, to make yourself happy when you're triggered, you are not alone, right? It's the practice that makes it easier. It's the learned behavior. You counteract negative thoughts and feelings. Your conscious mind is the boss. Your subconscious mind is the worker bee. Practice control over the negative thoughts that come from your unconscious mind and feelings. So allow your conscious mind to manage your subconscious mind, but with love and tenderness and caring. Examine the words that you're using and shift them to those of empowerment, of belief, of self love, of self esteem, of deserving, of achievement, of being awesome, of being beautiful, of being just who you are. Be aware of your language and choose ever so wisely. And our next module is the meat and the meat and the meat of this whole presentation. The daily choices that you can make to live an absolutely endlessly delicious life. And I look so forward to sharing that information with you. Namaste.